Hey everyone, this is Dr. Eric Fields, the psychologist turned weight loss coach. So today I want to talk about the difference between coaching and therapy. Now, I have a picture there of the soccer coach, but of course that's not the kind of coaching I'm talking about. I love soccer, so there's a way of inserting a soccer photo into this. No, the kind of coaching that I'm talking about today is different from what we think of when we think of a coach, a sports coach, right? But before I get into this difference, let's first start off with talking about the difference between a coach and a therapist. So, a therapist is somebody like myself who is a licensed mental health professional. That could be a psychologist, it could be a social worker, it could be a psychiatrist. If they're one of the few that provide therapy, most of them deal with medication, or it could be a licensed mental health counselor. The great thing about working with a therapist is because they have to be licensed, you know that there's a certain amount of training that they have and expertise, as well as quite often experience. And it's a way of kind of ensuring that you're in good hands, right? You're with somebody that is very qualified to help you. Now, a coach, on the other hand, could be anybody. Anybody could go online and say that they are a coach. And the kind of coach we're talking about here is somebody who helps you accomplish some kind of goal, quite often a personal goal. Okay. And there are all types of coaches. There are life coaches, there are financial coaches, there are job coaches, recovery coaches for people struggling with addiction, you name it. And then, of course, weight loss coaches like myself. The problem with coaching is you don't always know what the person's level of training is and what their experience or expertise is, really. So there's no like real, I want to say guarantee, but assurance that you're in good hands. They could be somebody who has years and years of experience and a lot of training under their belt, both at the college and university level. They could have a graduate degree, they could have a doctoral degree like myself, or they could have many different valuable certifications from worthy organizations that can kind of, support them in this role and, them as a qualified professional. But the problem is that you don't always know, and anybody can say they're a coach. Anybody could go online and say they're a coach and that they're going to help you with anything. And so that's kind of why I think this coaching industry has gotten like a bad rap, I get the sense that a lot of people get turned off when they hear, that somebody is a coach. So as long as they have the proper training and experience, then they can help you immensely. And they can help you in different ways than a therapist. And it's for this reason that I went from being a therapist to a coach, aside from other reasons. So now that we kind of know the difference between a coach and a therapist, let's talk about what coaching is and what therapy is in terms of like how are they different. So the first fundamental way in which they differ is therapy provides greater breadth. And what I mean by that is in therapy, you're going to cover many different areas of your personal life. It's kind of one-stop shopping, right? So like whatever issues you have, those issues can be covered, all of them, in therapy. So are they social issues? Are they relationship issues in terms of like romantic relationship issues? Are they parenting difficulties that you're having? And then, of course, are they mental health issues, which are very commonly worked on in therapy? Do you have an anxiety disorder or a depressive disorder, or some kind of serious drug or alcohol addiction or dependency? Those kinds of things can all be worked with the same therapist, okay? In coaching, it's super specific. And that's why coaches will often kind of, you know, pigeonhole themselves to one very specific niche. And they do that on purpose because that works best with the coaching model to work on something super specific. And I'll explain a little bit more about why. So that's where you get like, a finance coach, a job coach, a recovery coach. They work on very specific things. For me, it's weight loss. Another fundamental way in which coaching and therapy differ has to do with depth. Therapy really explores the roots of your struggles. Quite often, there is a focus on how these problems developed. We take an in-depth history going all the way back to childhood to really learn about you and the origins of some of these struggles. And it can be extremely rewarding for people to fully understand their various personal struggles and issues and how they came to be. And then, of course, once we have that really in-depth understanding about you, then we can formulate a plan that can go over all of these issues, that can, tackle all of these struggles for you. Coaching does not go into the issue in as great of depth because since the issue is so specific and we're more solution focused in coaching than we are problem focused. So just like therapy, we focus on the problem in as far as it's going to lead to a solution. It helps us develop a plan for you, right? But there's not as much of a self-discovery process because we're really just focused on, okay, what is the issue right now? And how can we get you to where you need to be? So for weight loss, it's about, figuring out the obstacles, but then quickly moving to a solution and strategies to get past them. Okay? So you're not going to learn as much about yourself in coaching as you would therapy, which has that great benefit that, people really come to appreciate. But because coaching does not cover your struggle in as great of depth as therapy or cover your issues in as great of breadth as therapy, the length of time is much shorter. So the typical length of time for someone in therapy is going to be a good year or so. The typical time for somebody with a coaching service is going to be 3 months. So that's quite a difference. And like I said, it takes a lot less time because we're laser focused on one specific problem and the problem as it is right now. Okay? So here's the irony though. Coaching actually, because it's much shorter and intensely focused, will give you more support in that shorter period of time compared to therapy. So in therapy, you're seeing the person once a week, typically. For coaching, you're seeing the coach at least once a week, but then you're interacting with them multiple times during the week. So that could be over phone calls, it could be through text, it could be in a Facebook group, but you have more frequent access to a coach. We need you to have more frequent access to us because it's super focused and we want to accomplish this very specific goal in about 3 months. Now, just like therapy can sometimes take longer than a year, coaching can sometimes take longer than 3 months. But with any really good coach, within 3 months, you should really be on your way to solving this problem. And so maybe you just need a little extra support from time to time after the 3 months. But in 3 months, you should have identified the problem, come up with a really good, effective plan, and you should be making a lot of progress within those 3 months. This is Dr. Fields, and I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any more questions about coaching or therapy, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I wish you all the best on your weight loss journey, and I'll have more to say about this at another time.